Sorry, hold on one sec, guys. Everybody stem. Okay. Where the fuck is Counterpoints? Oh my god. Did he just jump in here?
Yeah, bro.
Oh shit. Okay, hold on, let me get my...
Didn't you just say, where am I?
Oh, so you were just stalking me.
Yeah. She said 8:15, bro beans. Took a nap, took a shower, ate some snackaroons.
Jesus. Okay. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. All right. Okay. Do you ever say where you live?
Yeah, I live in Central Florida.
Gotcha.
And every time I DM that to you, you're like, "Oh my god, like you fucking dork, you fucking loser." And it's like, dude, it's like 3 hours.
Yeah, because you're like the perfect length to like where I'll never fucking see you, but you're not like so far away that I could like fly to you. It's just
okay. My self-doxing. My parents live in Juno Beach, which is like an hour and 20 minutes away, or it's like an hour away from you. And especially, do you live? I don't know if you want to self-dox.
I live in Miami
South
Beach.
Miami, North Miami.
I'm in South Miami Beach. Come find me. Roll up, kids. All right.
Okay. All right, and then I want to point out for the kids at home, I did DM you on a day that I was shooting with my dad. I said I would make the drive, and you were like, "Nah, bro, I'm playing Factorio." So that's not on me, bro beans. We could have been shooting guns. We could have had the suicide pact completed.
You don't have to leak my shit like that, okay? Okay.
That you ghosted me on a date?
I didn't ghost you, okay? Calm down. Let's oh, fuck me. Okay. Okay.
How was the gym?
The gym is fine. I'm in the process of losing all my female friends. All right. Hold on one sec. I gotta watch a foursome throw. Very important. Ruminate, if you're out there, now's your time to shine. Otherwise, I gotta turn this shit on. Why do you pronounce the L in calm? Wait, how do you say it?
Calm.
Calm?
Calm.
Calm. Calm. Calm. You say calm?
Calm. Yep.
You don't say calm?
Nope.
You just randomly delete letters from... Okay.
Yeah. It's like aeroplane with the Europeans. Just go to airplane.
Okay. Lex Friedman Dono. Wait, really? Uh-oh. Did I do something bad? Wait, did that guy just make that up? No, he made that up. Okay. Alright. We're here because you want to talk about XT Twitter files, yeah?
Rapping.
Yeah, just wanted to relitigate this based off of the Schellenberger release. I did get about like 20 minutes, 30 minutes in through your journalist grilling, but I feel like the ground's moved a little bit. So I just want to see if during the original conversation I said that we had 75% descriptive overlap, and you kept saying don't say that, we don't. And so now I'm wondering if we do have 75 to 80% descriptive overlap.
I don't know. What is your what do you think we're at?
Well, I actually I wrote down all of the points that I originally summarized from my tweets. So I figured I actually kind of wrote them in a chronological order. So I figured we could start on like the furthest out and move it in, and then basically if we agree, we move on, and that if we don't agree, then we can fight it out and we can take it from there.
Okay.
All right.
Well, yeah, go for it. Give me.
Okay. So first one, I would say, I think this is a gimme, but I want to build our way in. Is who controls Twitter and the large social media companies / what they choose to show and how they work with government important to the public?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. And then, just in case anybody in chat was fucking pissing their pants already, the example I wanted to use was Elon Musk has already been accused of using visible filtering to go after Ukrainian war accounts. And some of those Ukrainian war accounts that were like pro-propaganda and filtering donations to the Ukrainian war effort, they've some of them have reported like a 30-40% drop in traffic that is not explainable through their behavior. Their behavior set is the same. Elon Musk takes over, and then basically they think that they're getting visibly filtered. Who fucking knows? I'm just saying, obviously, that backs up the point that who controls Twitter is important. So I'll delete that one. So, does Twitter and social media in general have a progressive slant?
Does mainstream media have a progressive slant?
Not progressive media, social media. So Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
If we're selecting for the most popular ones, yes, I would say. Like, obviously,
Okay.
like Truth Social and Gab won't, but like Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, yeah.
Okay. And then just for the evidence for the people in chat, it was from the Twitter files. 99% or 95% of the political donations from Twitter went to the Democrats. And basically, if another analogy that I thought that was really good that a friend gave me post first and second conversation was, would you argue, let's say we lived in an alternative universe, Twitter was owned by conservatives, and you weren't allowed to talk about abortion or immigration from like a globalist sense or a pro-choice sense, even if people were like, it's like, oh, nobody can talk about that, including conservatives. Wouldn't you just say that that was a conservative bias to the social media platform?
I think in effect, but I don't know if I would say that.
Okay.
So
if you can get 60% of the way there, I don't care. But
sure, my thought would be like,
example.
Yeah, my thought would be like, let's say hypothetically, let's say flat Earth became a thing that we really cared about, and it was a big thing. Like, and people weren't flying on airplanes, and people were, I don't know, doing dumb shit, whatever flat Earthers believe. And let's say that it turned out that
Bermuda Triangle.
yeah, that like 99% of flat Earthers happen to be like left or right, and they started censoring flat Earth. Would I consider that political bias? I don't think so.
If you want to say
we
not
might be
in
mincing.
intent, but if you want to say consequentially, I would take consequential.
Okay. Consequentially, I would say yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'll get rid of that one. So at this point, are the Twitter files a nothing burger, or are they like a veggie burger, where it's not like the 100% beef that you were promised mixed with all the best condiments in a brioche bun, but it's at least there's something there?
I thought the Twitter files were really interesting, but when I say nothing burger, I mean I didn't see any evidence of wrongdoing. I thought that it vindicated a lot of the accusations that were made about bias at Twitter.
Okay, so when you say nothing burger, you're not referring to whether or not there's something substantive that's worth talking about. You're just saying that the people are exaggerating the contents of the Twitter file themselves.
Yeah, so when conservatives say like this is the smoking gun that proves blah blah blah, I say no, this is a nothing burger. If you're looking for like a smoking gun proving that everything is fucked, yeah.
Okay, so would you say that the the Snowden NSA leaks or whatever? So for instance, I knew that the NSA was fucking spying on people for the entire thousands and tens because they already fucking told us. We had the Patriot Act. We had the NSA basically saying, oh yeah, we're standing up all these programs. You had the liaisons between all the the DOD and the DHS and all that kind of stuff. All of that stuff gets stood up. For me, it was reasonable to assume at that point that the NSA had like a complex signals intelligence thing that may or may not be violating the due process regulations of American citizens, but at the same time, they were using the justification of terrorism in order to get that far. So a lot of people treated the NSA Snowden leaks like they were the big fucking deal, and to me, I was like, yeah, it's important, but we already knew this shit. So is that how you feel about this?
What do you mean? Is that how I feel about this? What are you asking?
Where it's like it's an important thing whether or not the FBI and social media have a relationship and what they determine is palatable for general consumption. But we already knew that they were doing this because they told us they were doing this since 2016.
When you say doing this, doing what?
Doing social media liaisons in reference to disinformation and propaganda.
We knew that, yes.
Okay. So that why like this is not shocking to you because they literally told us that we were doing it.
And it's to be expected, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Post 2016 at least, but yeah.
Okay. Is visible filtering what most conservatives were complaining about, and did some progressives play semantic games about shadow banning versus visible filtering?
What does visible filtering mean?
So visible filtering was the things that like Twitter was doing through mod actions, where it was like do not amplify or search blacklist or all that kind of shit. These were all like modifications to profiles behind the scenes that basically affected how people were perceived on Twitter, whether or not they were allowed to trend, whether or not they could be monetized, et cetera, et cetera. So when conservatives were complaining, do you think they were complaining like, oh, you know, I tweeted this other thing the other day, I got 80,000 views. I tweeted this shit today, it's the same thing, I got 20,000 views. I think I'm being shadow banned.
Yeah, I'm sure there were some conservatives complaining about that. Yeah.
Okay. All right, then here we can get into the contention. Should the former general counsel of the FBI be directing how Twitter breaks news stories?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Then, so for people who are wondering what I'm poking at or whatever, Jim Baker is a Twitter executive who was the former general counsel of the FBI, who helped formulate how the Hunter Biden story was released. And when other civilian employees were objecting to how the Hunter Biden story was released, he basically kept pushing for it to be classified as hacked materials and therefore to be labeled with a warning or suppressed or banned or whatever. So that's that question.
Can you link me those particular emails and we can read them and go over them and see if we feel like there's an unreasonable thing being said here?
Sure. It's all going to be Schellenberger.
That's fine.
And then I have a dickload of bookmarks since then, but I'll go back. Seven, Schellenberger. If you want the entire, I'm gonna send you the entire thread. But here's the entire thread, and then I'm looking for the specific tweet.
Okay. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Baker.
Funny. All right, so it might not be in Schellenberger. It should be whatever one was about the Hunter Biden story release, which I thought was part 7.
Yeah, we can wait.
Okay, number 34. On October 14th, shortly after New York Post publishes, blah, 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 this feels a lot like a subtle leak operation. This is from Jim Baker to Yoel Roth.
Yeah, give me the link.
I mean, you should have the thread, and it should be number 34. Let me click on it and then make sure I can go back to... Because I think it's 34 and 35.
Okay.
34.
Okay, I can look at it, right?
35. Yeah. Oh, what? You want me to, like, screen share or some shit?
Or, no, I'm looking at it now. Okay. All right. Do you want to start at 34?
Sure. Let me scroll down. Okay. You want to read it, or do you want me to read it?
On October 14th, shortly after the New York Post publishes its Hunter Biden laptop story, Roth says, "It isn't clearly violative of our hacked materials policy, nor is it clearly in violation of anything else," but adds, "This feels a lot like a somewhat subtle leak operation." Reading the email, Yoel Roth says, "Hey, blank, thanks, we're aware of this and are tracking closely. At this time, given the alleged provenance of the materials, a laptop mysteriously dropped off at a repair shop in Delaware, it isn't clearly violative of our hacked materials policy, nor is it clearly in violation of anything else. That said, the questionable origins here are obviously causing a lot of people to make references to 2016, and my personal view on this, unsubstantiated by hard evidence of yet, is that it feels a lot like a somewhat subtle leak operation. We'll be developing a recommendation for what, if anything, we want to do over the course of the day today. Yoel." Is there anything here that feels unreasonable?
Nope. I think Roth was acting in good faith. So I'll read the next one if you want. So in response to Roth, Baker repeatedly insists that Hunter Biden materials were either faked, hacked, or both in a violation of Twitter policy. Baker does so over email and in a Google Doc on October 14th and 15th. One additional comment. I've seen some reliable cybersecurity folks question the authenticity of the emails in another way, i.e. that there is no metadata pertaining to them that has been released and the formatting looks like they could be complete fabrication.
Is this false?
Then, what? That there was no metadata available?
That some cybersecurity folks did question the authenticity of the emails.
I'm sure some FBI cybersecurity people did question the authenticity of the email.
Was it just FBI cybersecurity? I feel like he would have specified if that was the case. I'm pulling from memory here, so I mean your guess is as good as mine. I could just be wrong, but I thought that in the past there was a lot of speculation for different reasons for why it could have been hacked materials. I feel like I read a TechNet article. I don't know if somebody chatted like that, but I think there were people speculating that like it could be faked. But I don't know 100%.
Well, the reason,
but
yeah, to walk you through the narrative, because obviously I've been fighting with people on this for I don't know a month or two. So there's a series of like plausible explanations that don't include malice, and you could break down to like systemic stupidity and opaque process, right? So the most charitable interpretation of it is the fact that like after 2016, we know that there's going to be Russian disinformation. In January of whatever that year was, maybe 2019, whatever the laptop before the laptop occurred, right?
Mm-hmm.
In January, Burisma got hacked. And it was allegedly like a Russian site, like you can find the articles about Burisma getting hacked. And then the belief at the time was that it was in an attempt to obtain Hunter Biden's personal information because that was the most recent scandal with Trump talking shit about Ukraine and the gas company and Hunter Biden and Joe Biden are corrupt and blah, 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 blah. So from there, even if you weren't a part of the FBI, even if you had no idea about the laptop existing, it's not that huge of an inference to assume that it's going to be like a cyber operation about Hunter Biden.
Wait, say that last part again?
Since Burisma got hacked, and the point of interest was that Hunter Biden worked there, even if you didn't know that the laptop existed, it wouldn't be a stretch to believe that a October surprise Russian psyop would be about Hunter Biden.
Sure. Okay. So then his comment here is fair, right?
Yeah, you could make the there's some stuff about Jim Baker in particular that I think is more nefarious.
Sure, we can get into that, but I'm trying to go piece by piece with this email right here seems like a fair email to me, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And the next one, Jane Baker.
It's the blue at the bottom.
Well, here, we can just read the whole thing. We're here. We have nothing else to do right now. We're free men. Our teams continue to investigate the origins of the material, including in the reporting. Somebody says, I'm struggling to understand the policy basis for marking this as unsafe, and I think the best explainability argument for this externally would be that we're waiting to understand if this story is the result of hacked materials. We'll face hard questions on this if we don't have some kind of solid reasoning for marking the link unsafe. You'll say... No, Trenton... Oh, no. Then the next guy says, will we also mark similar stories as unsafe? And then this is Fox News, which I think is referencing the one story. The laptop story. And then is it Yoel or Yoel? Do you know how to pronounce it?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to guess it's Yoel. Yoel says, the policy basis is hacked materials, though, as discussed, this is an emerging situation where the facts remain unclear. Given the severe risks here and lessons of 2016, we're erring on the side of including a warning and preventing this content from being amplified. Vijaya. What is the warning that will come up? Yoel says, when you click the link, you'll see the generic unsafe URL message, references spam, malware, and violation of the Twitter rules. Not ideal, but it's the only thing we have. Someone says, whatever we do in the comms, this will become a bias claim for Jack pre-hearing immediately. Let's make it clear that we're proactively but cautiously interpreting this through the lens of our hacked materials policy and allowing the link with a warning and significant reduction of spread. Someone else says, to Ian's point, can we truthfully claim that this is a part of the policy, i.e., as part of our approach to addressing potentially hacked materials, we are limiting visibility for related stories on Twitter while our investigation is ongoing? Baker says, I support the conclusion that we need more facts to assess whether the materials were hacked. At this stage, however, it is reasonable for us to assume that they may have been, and that caution is warranted. There are some facts that indicate the materials may have been hacked, while there are others indicating that the computer was either abandoned and or the owner consented to allow the repair shop to access it for at least some purposes. We simply need more information. Everything here seems very fair so far as well, unless... Do you agree or disagree?
Okay, so I'm reading more bullshit into this. So it seems like the civilians, it seems like Yoel Roth, and it seems like the blanked out person at the top who does have the last two responses is basically saying we're erring on the side of caution of letting it fly, and Jim Baker is pushing we're erring
hold
on the side of caution.
No. They want to err on the side of caution of limiting it.
I'm struggling to understand the policy basis for marking this as unsafe. That's him wanting to limit it?
I'm sorry. Wait. Where are you seeing this exactly?
That's at the very top of the page.
Okay, so when they say, I'm struggling to understand the policy basis for marking this as unsafe, and I think the best explainability argument for this externally would be that we're waiting to understand if this story is the result of hacked materials. We'll face hard questions on this if we don't have some kind of solid reasoning for marking the link unsafe. What they're talking about right now is it sounds like Twitter has some tools that they can use to limit the spread of a link, but one of those tools when they mark a link is saying the link is unsafe. It sounds like they've kind of decided they want to stop the spread or at least slow the spread of it, but marking it unsafe is unsatisfying because it doesn't look unsafe, and they're saying we're going to have a hard time explaining that it's unsafe. We'll face hard questions on this if we don't have some kind of solid reasoning for marking the link unsafe. I think that was the issue.
Sure.
And then you can see this repeated because Yoel later on says it like the policy basis is hacked materials, and then it's repeated again. What is the warning that will come up? That's the problem. The problem is the generic warning message they have makes the link sound unsafe, which doesn't seem to fit. It's not a good thing externally facing for hacked materials policy. That kind of warning label doesn't seem to fit the story.
Mm-hmm. If you want to land on this, so we don't have to autistically focus on language or whatever. If you want to land on if you'll accept that the civilians are more hesitant about labeling this as like unsafe or labeling this as hacked materials or whatever, then I don't care.
I think it's pretty important here because it doesn't sound like what they're arguing about here. They're not arguing whether or not it's hacked materials. It sounds like they're arguing about the actual tool that they have to use that marks it as unsafe. Like, for instance, let's say that there is let's say that I've got a picture of a guy's head getting blown off. And it's on, and it's like in a box of stuff in the house, and Nathan is coming over. Let's say that I want to mark this box as unsafe, but the only stickers I have to mark things as unsafe are pornographic. Now, let's say everybody agrees in the house, okay, this box is unsafe. We're going to put the pornography mark on it. And then people are like, is it really pornographic though? Like, that's going to be weird if somebody opens the box and it's not pornography. It's a guy getting his head blown off. Like, externally, how are we going to explain this, marking it pornographic when it's not? That's the conversation that we're having.
Then,
like,
what's his alternative? So in your metaphor, you're saying that they could alternatively label it something else and still suppress it. So what's the alternative labeling?
It sounds like they're arguing that they don't have the tool to label it. That's what it sounds like in here to me.
Yeah, it sounds like they shouldn't be labeling it.
No. I'm saying it sounds like right now they don't, like, if they ban a link or stop the spread of it, it sounds like they don't have a tool where when they mark it, it says this is under investigation of hacked materials or whatever. That's what it sounds like. All they have is the marker to mark the link as unsafe. Because later on when they go to clarify, they say, because the Viaha person asks, what's the warning that'll come up? And then Yoel says, well, when you click the link, you'll see the generic unsafe message saying spam, malware, or violations of the Twitter rules. And then he says, it's not ideal, but it's the only thing we have, referring to the fact that they don't have the proper tool to mark this particular violation. It sounds like that's what they're arguing about in here. That is what they're arguing about in here, for sure.
Okay, so I'm unfamiliar at this point. Do they have a hacked materials label?
No. That's why they're saying that it's going to... That's what Yoel is arguing for. He's saying when you click the link, you'll see the generic unsafe URL message, which references spam, malware, and violation of the Twitter rules. And then earlier he says the policy basis is hacked materials. But yeah, it's a shitty link. And then that's why they're saying they're going to be facing like external pressure to like say like, well, you need to explain this because it's clearly not an unsafe link. Earlier they say we'll face hard questions on this if we don't have some kind of solid reasoning for marking the link unsafe, because it's not really an unsafe link. It's just violating.
So if you're charitably summarizing the other gentleman besides Jim Baker and besides Yoel Roth, you're not saying that he's saying that this shouldn't be banned at all. You're saying that he's saying the link, our warning signal sucks. It's not explanatory, and on top of that, if people ask us and we can't prove that it's hacked materials, we just have to say that we're pending an investigation for hacked materials, and you have to communicate that. Is that how you're interpreting what he's saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, then I'm fine with that interpretation.
Okay. Okay. All right. Do you want to go to the... Okay. So, and then I feel like Jim Baker, if you want to skip past all that other autistic stuff earlier, then Jim Baker's response down here feels pretty reasonable. You can tell me if you think some part of his response here is not reasonable.
It's not okay. It's not unreasonable, and I don't see. Here's the thing: it's like we're skating by pretty good. I feel like we're on a good chunk of consensus so far. But I don't want to like spurg off into different territory when we might have more consensus to build. Okay. And my thing is, I think that Jim Baker is not. He's not what the fuck is that guy's name? He's not Jason Bourne. Okay. But he is an intelligent, well-educated, tactful, politically minded person who worked in counterintelligence and would know how to phrase things in a tactful way where he could still edge things towards the way that he wanted things to be, but not be so incriminating as to incriminate himself. So you don't have to believe that there's malevolence in his emails and he's just like, oh yeah, guys, looks good, but I'm reading more malevolence into it than you are.
Okay. I understand you could do that. I think the email looks really reasonable to me. We simply need more information on the final 5 words he says. It feels pretty reasonable, but I understand you're reading that into it, but we can go to the next part of this tweet if you want.
Sure.
Okay.
Next
part is from Jim Baker. He says, folks, I'm guessing that we're going to restrict access to this article as a violation of our hacked materials policy, but after yesterday, I don't want to assume anything.
Sure. So that to me is him still gently pushing for the result that he wants.
Okay.
All right.
I would like to point out real quick.
Sure.
Hold on. Okay. Am I sharing a stage with this guy in Austin? I'm just trying to figure out how mean I can be. I'll just be blunt and I won't dress it up. Michael Schellenberger's text here, following the number 35, is complete and utterly false. Do you recognize that? He said, in response to Roth, Baker repeatedly insists that the Hunter Biden materials were either faked, hacked, or both, and a violation of Twitter policy. That's not what he said. He said on the bottom when we read it that at this stage, it's reasonable for us to assume that they may have been and that caution is warranted. There are some facts that indicate the materials may have been hacked, while there are others indicating that the computer was either abandoned and or the owner consented to allow the repair shop to access it for at least some purposes. We simply need more information. That's quite a bit different than Schellenberger's summary of what he said.
Sure. And actually, there's an inferential leap here that he would have to substantiate that maybe in Austin you should nail him down on.
Okay.
So 36, and yet it's inconceivable. Baker believed the Hunter Biden's emails were either faked or hacked. The New York Post had included a picture of the receipt signed by Hunter Biden and an FBI subpoena showing that the agency had taken possession of the laptop in December of 2019.
Inconceivable is a strong word here. There's a couple of things going on. I got a few emails about this. So one, fucking signature can be faked. We all know that. That's the easiest part. Two, okay, here are two different things that I've been told. And I haven't verified the authenticity of these. One is that the FBI, everybody in the FBI doesn't know everything that the entire FBI knows. The idea that Baker would know anything about the FBI having taken possession of the laptop, I don't know if that's ever been substantiated. If it has been, then feel free to show me. That's one. And two, I don't think that that laptop has been authenticated as being Hunter Biden's laptop. I don't know if that's even happened as of today.
So that's the inferential leap I would ask him to do. I think that he's saying, because I had to read this a few times, I think he's saying that the FBI taking possession of the laptop was included as a part of the New York Post story, therefore he would know. And then I'm going to present to you an alternative theory, but I'm also going to be kind of a dick about it.
Okay. Also, wait, just to be clear too, why would Baker even know that the FBI had the laptop?
Just from the New York Post story. I don't think he's saying that the FBI would have sent him an email and say, hey, bro, you know, we know for a fact that we got the laptop and everything coming out in this story is legit. You need to get these Twitter folks to shut the fuck up. I don't think that's what they're saying.
He's literally just
saying that referencing the New York Post story, they should know.
So he's just saying that, like, it's so crazy that he wouldn't believe this is hacked because the stuff he's claiming that is hacked, they say that it's not hacked. So that's like his argument here. Okay, gotcha. All right.
Yeah. Not just that, but let me give you something that cuts against Jim Baker, but is still pertinent to the conversation of why everybody's treating him like a fucking villain, okay?
Okay.
So the week before the drop, and I don't think there's substantive, I don't think there's like a screenshot of documentation, but Schellenberger says that, maybe there is a screenshot, I'd have to find it. But basically, he says that Jim Baker did a one-on-one meeting with the FBI before the Hunter Biden story drop, and there were no other Twitter representatives in the room. So
wait,
the only people that were in the room...
That?
Sure. It is in this thread, but I'm scrolling. Uh, 33. Then on September 15th, 2020, the FBI's Laura Demlow, who heads up the Foreign Influence Task Force, and Elvis Chan request to give a classified briefing for Jim Baker without any other Twitter staff, such as Joel Roth present.
Wait. Can you just link me this?
Sure.
Okay. 33. Is this part of the same tweet chain that we're on?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So this is just about 33. On September 15th, 2020, the FBI's Laura Demlow, who heads up the Foreign Influence Task Force, and Elvis Chan request to give a classified briefing for Jim Baker without any other Twitter staff, such as Joel Roth, President. Hi, Jim and Blank. I hope all is well. Can you upload? No, I was schedule a classified briefing for Jim. They'd like to meet early next week if possible. Let's create a virtual room.
Well, can I ask a dickish question there?
Go for it.
So you already said that it would not be appropriate for the former general counsel of the FBI to be making decisions on how news stories are broken on social media companies.
Correct.
Is it appropriate for the former general counsel of the FBI to be doing one-on-one meetings with his former place of employment a week before a major story breaks and then influencing how that story is broken?
It could be. That depends.
Could be. Should, ideally, I'll be charitable, ideally, should other employees be present that would be able to, like, verify the information and make sure that there wasn't any fucking monkey business going on?
I don't know if that's possible. If it's a classified briefing, if this is like a TSSCI levels of clearance to this briefing, I don't know how many people at Twitter have like those types of clearances. I have no idea. Maybe more people could go after them. One thing that I've gotten emailed this a bunch from old military guys. One thing that they stress over and over again is the reason why there's kind of this revolving door between a lot of people that work in government or military that go into like these private security things is because they already have the security clearances. If you've already gone through your SF-86 shit and you're already cleared or whatever, people will hire you just sometimes on that alone because it's so easy to have. So I wish I had a better answer to your question. The thing is, I don't know the answer. Like, so you could give me two pieces of information. You probably don't have it. I don't have it. I don't know. But like, you could say, well, actually, in a standard social media company, there's like 30 or 40 people with TSSCI clearance. So they could have been there. Like, oh, okay. Or the answer could be
they only, in this own thread, they only had two.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. So like, or it could be the case that like one or two people at these companies might have that level of clearance. I don't know the answer to that. Here's something. Here's something that I could do. Okay. Can I ask you this question? Okay. If I'm imagining of what's going on here, okay? Because right now I'm thinking everything is on the up and up. If I change my mind and say, okay, something shady is probably going on here, okay? If that was the case, that something shady is going on, let's say I'm the FBI, I want to shut this story down, okay? Because I don't want this ruining my God Emperor Biden for becoming president. Why wouldn't they just tell Baker, hey, the FBI has it on really good authority that this laptop story is probably hacked. And you guys need to be aware of that. That if you publish this story, you're publishing Russian disinformation, just like you guys did in 2016. Why wouldn't he just say that? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, because there's actually a specific answer to that. A Republican lawmaker, it's a part of my manifesto on my channel, the Counterpoints Coliseum. Basically there was a Republican Republican representative who said that they had an FBI whistleblower, where the intent of the FBI wasn't to charitably, like, get God Emperor Biden elected. It was to have the appearance of non-bias. As a matter of fact, basically in that news story, the reason why they said the Hunter Biden story was shelved was because they received it 10 months before the election. And like the quotes in the article, if I remember correctly, was the fact that they didn't want to repeat 2016 where they were responsible for fucking up the election. So it could be entirely not like, I love Joe Biden, I want to slob on his knob. It could be, we don't want to have the appearance of bias, but by trying to not have the appearance of bias, we appear biased.
Why would they? So but this isn't about the FBI, though. This is about Twitter. The FBI is trying so hard to not have the appearance of bias that they're going to enforce their neutrality on every single social media company. Like, that seems like a pretty big stretch to me. Like, if this was about like, again. Yeah, well, you're trying to say the FBI is trying so hard to appear non-biased that they're going to run to every single social media company and try to shut down a story so that they appear unbiased.
Or to create.
That sounds like it would create even more bias. Well,
Well, and here's the other thing that basically I want you to consider.
Okay.
Like the reason why I'm putting more malevolence in Jim Baker's communiques or whatever is because they don't want to have the appearance of having this bias, right? So Jim Baker's former FBI, you don't want to have him screaming from the top of his lungs like, this story can't come out, it's lies, I love Joe Biden. Like, you can't put that in a fucking email. What you just say is, hey, it looks like it could be bullshit. Let's go ahead and throw this under our bullshit category, create a little bit, like, and I'm not saying this is what he's saying.
Who decided to put it under the bullshit category?
I would say they as a collective decided to put it under the bullshit category, but they did so under their communications from Jim Baker and former FBI and people who were in this like revolving door process between social media and government institutes. And by the way, like, so here's the thing. So I could grant you it's justified. I could grant you it's justified, but can you grant me that it's a bad system?
I don't think so. I don't feel like it's a bad... I don't know if he was the one who was the reason why this was classified as hack materials, right? Like, Baker could have been a guy that wasn't ex-FBI. It could have just been another person. Would that change your feelings on this story at all? If Baker was a civilian, would you feel... You'd feel differently?
Oh, fuck yeah. Absolutely.
So what if...
But when you add...
What if Baker was a liaison between the FBI and Twitter and they had a private meeting and chatted? Would you still feel the same, or would you feel differently still? Sorry.
If who did?
Let's say that there was a guy named Jim Johnson, and he was a civilian, and then he had a private meeting with the FBI, and then he came back and was like, and he's like back. He's saying the same shit Jim Baker said. As long as he's a civilian, would you feel differently about it?
No, I descriptively, this is where I would say it's a bad system. So
you just don't like that Baker is ex-FBI.
Well, I don't like that Baker is ex-FBI, and he's the one that's like pushing for the hacked materials more than everybody else. What I would also say, though, is if it was a civilian one-on-one, then I would want that conversation to be, like, subpoena-able. And I think that, like, you know, like I said, I did law enforcement, you know, I've been in the corporate world for a while. Basically, if there's any issue of contention, then you always have a second person in the room as a witness for whatever the issue of contention is. So I think having that high level of a sensitive conversation where you're basically talking about, like, you know, hacked materials and Russian disinformation and, you know, whether or not the Hunter Biden story is true or not, or whether, like, all that kind of shit, I think that has to be a documentable conversation.
Okay. So I would agree with you here if we were talking about a different reality. So if it was the case that everybody on Twitter is kind of like, and then all of a sudden, fucking ex-FBI Baker comes waltzing and he's like, listen up, guys. We need to reconsider, okay? I think this story stinks. This is some fuck shit, guys. I just got back from a one-on-one meeting in the FBI. We're going to shut this shit down. Something like that, I would look at that and be like, I don't know about this. I would start to see your point of view pretty hardcore. But right now, I don't even know if there's any evidence that Baker is the person that's pushing for this to fall under the hack materials policy. I don't know if that's even been demonstrated. It seems like he's talking about it in that one email chain, but like, is there any evidence that he's the one that's even pushing for this?
Yeah, so this is the like where they, you know, I got called a flat earther over this conversation. The Jim Baker, of course this isn't direct evidence, this is all circumstantial. Jim Baker, after fucking Elon Musk takes over, appoints himself without direction to be in charge of the information that's going out to the reporters, and then sanitizes the emails that he fucking sends out. And then Musk finds out about it and cans his ass. So, like, wait a
second. Can you link me that story? I want to see all of this, just so, because there's like so much like connotation to all of this. I want to see all of this.
Sure.
I don't know how you appoint yourself in a company. I don't know what that means.
So basically, you said, "Oh, all the stuff that's going out to reporters for the Twitter files, I need to see what's going out." Jim Baker fired over Twitter files intervention. Well, this is New York Post. I don't know if you're going to trust it, but I'll start linking.
I'll read it. I think I found the story. Elon Musk has fired Twitter's Deputy General Counsel, James Baker, over his alleged suppression of internal documents after blocking the post-Hunter Biden laptop expose. In light of concerns about Baker's possible role in suppression of information important to the public dialogue, he was exited from Twitter today. Musk added that he questioned Baker before his firing about the events surrounding the laptop suppression scandal and that the lawyer's explanation was unconvincing. Baker, a former top FBI lawyer, was discovered to be secretly vetting the internal Twitter documents before they could be reviewed by journalists, leading to a delay in the release of more material related to the company's censorship scandal. On Friday, the first installment of the Twitter files was published here. We expected to publish more over the weekend. Many wondered why there was a delay. Independent journalist Matt Taibbi tweeted on Tuesday. We can now tell you part of the reason why. On Tuesday, Twitter Deputy General Counsel and former FBI General Counsel Jim Baker was fired. Among the reasons, vetting the first batch of Twitter files without knowledge of new management, Taibbi added. Taibbi further revealed that former Wall Street Journal and New York Times writer Barry Weiss, I think, right? Sorry. Weiss. Sorry. Oh, this shit-ass fucking page just threw an ad in it. Fuck my shit up. Okay. Also involved in reviewing the social media giant's internal documents related to the post-Hunter Biden story, and that it was she who discovered Baker's involvement, which Musk was unaware of, according to Taibbi. The process for conducting the Twitter files involved delivery to two journalists, Barry Weiss and me, via a lawyer close to new management. However, after the initial batch, things became complicated. He added that Weiss discovered that the person in charge of releasing the files was someone named Jim. When she called to ask Jim's last name, the answer came back Jim Baker. Taibbi added in a tweet, "My jaw hit the floor." He said the first batch of files both reporters received were marked Spectra Baker emails. Baker is a controversial figure. He's been something of a Zelig of FBI controversies dating back to 2016, from the Steele dossier to Alpha. That's not relevant. The news that Baker was reviewing the Twitter files surprised everyone involved, to say the least. Twitter chief Elon Musk acted quickly to exit Baker Tuesday. Baker was previously general counsel for the FBI under former director James Comey and a key figure. FBI Baker worked with fiercely after leaving the bureau in 2018. Baker put some criminals allegedly. It's kind of with the FBI in regard to the Russia probe. What was his job before he got fired?
I thought he was like deputy general counsel for Twitter.
Is it? Would it be that out of pocket?
He was their lawyer.
Yeah. Would it be that out of pocket that he was reviewing these emails that were being sent out? Also, it sounds like he didn't actually stop anything from going out. It sounds like he was reviewing them. If he's like general legal counsel, wouldn't it make sense that he's looking to make sure that like nothing that's going to get the company in legal trouble is being like shipped out to an employee? Or I'm sorry, shipped out to a journalist?
But he's the person who's like, he's the person implicated in the entire fucking story. So you're like, should the person who's implicated in the story be the person to vet the story to make sure that it doesn't fuck his company over / him over? And the question is whether or not there's malfeasance. If you believe there's malfeasance, then yeah. But at the same time, he's vetting the thing that people are talking about that is of public interest.
I understand that. That could definitely be iffy, especially if there's something like highly incriminating of him in there. But I will say it doesn't sound like anything was censored. It doesn't sound like he vetted anything and like hid anything.
Sure. I think you're being very charitable to these people, and I'm not being as charitable.
Wait, hold on. Well, to be clear, I'm just stating facts, right? It sounds like they're upset that he was vetting the files because there could be the perception there of unfairness, which is fair. That's actually totally fair. I give you that. But it doesn't sound like anything was like hidden. Well, we both know that because if he did vet something, if he like cut something out, that would be like the headline story, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But then, you know, I'm not going to speculate about evidence that doesn't exist. So.
Well. Okay. Well, then technically
if it comes out that there's a
nothing.
bunch of like hashed and deleted files, and they're like, we don't even know what Jim Baker had because there's all these, you know, we did a bunch of digital forensics, and we see that a bunch of files were deleted. I can't. You know,
Sure.
I'm not.
Okay, but so then, just to be clear, then through all of this, Baker's done nothing wrong. It doesn't seem like it.
You know, I'm not like a super big fan of one-on-one meetings between the general counsel of the FBI and the FBI before a major story breaks, and on top of that, the former deputy general counsel of the FBI being the one who's kind of pushing people in order to suppress the story. I'm not a big fan of that dynamic.
Sure, maybe the dynamic might be questionable. Yeah, the dynamic might be questionable, which I can kind of agree with. But so far, we don't have any evidence of any wrongdoing whatsoever, right?
If you want to talk about legal,
no, just anything at all.
If you want to talk about like a spiritual violative process of the First Amendment, I think you have like a spiritual violation of the First Amendment if you don't have an actual violation of the First Amendment.
Well, so for things I'd be looking at then, like, is Baker the one pushing for the New York Post story to be censored. I don't see that anywhere. And then on the second thing, when he was vetting those files that were being sent to journalists, did he censor or delete anything going to the journalists? I don't see that either. So it doesn't seems like there are concerns that either those two things might have happened, but it doesn't seem like they did, or I don't see any evidence of those things happening.
This is kind of one of the things that I took issue with in the first 20 minutes of that conversation. So I'm not trying to change the subject. I'm trying to use this as a demonstrable thing for the same purposes. So we were talking about like extra legal requisitions from the FBI in reference to suppressing profiles, and them creating like an entire application in order to do that, and blah 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 blah. And then we're talking about the FBI violating basically requesting that all these profiles get taken down, and then also them trying to requesting access to Twitter files without having to go through the warrants process, and Twitter declines them. So
wait, say Twitter declines which thing?
Twitter declines to take down a good chunk of the profiles that the FBI reported on, and then the FBI declined the extra warrant process in order to obtain information. They basically say, no, we're not giving you access to all our files without warrants. You got to go get warrants, right?
Okay.
So FBI did the right thing, but do you think that through the volume of requests and the integrated relationship and the incestuous nature, it would not be at all surprising if in the next half decade to decade, through sheer exhaustion, social media companies capitulate to fucking like the IC over this?
Nope.
So wouldn't that be a conflict of interest and pretty fucking bad?
I don't see where the conflict of interest is.
With the intelligence community specifically asking for the speech of Americans that is legal to be suppressed by social media companies. And there to be an incestuous relationship between the two institutions.
If they were to ask that, then sure. But the goal was supposed to be to identify foreign accounts, right? That was their goal, their stated goal.
Okay.
I mean, if we could see evidence of them not doing that, then that'd be fine. But I haven't seen any evidence of that. Do you think it would be bad if the intelligence community has special tools and information that they can access to identify foreign bot accounts? Do you think that's information they ought to share with social media or no?
Sure. But then, like, we would need to be able to see the corroborative process through which they do this kind of shit. Well, and it shouldn't be opaque and through back channels.
But you can't,
not just that.
You wouldn't be able to see that process reasonably, right?
No, you don't have to. You should at least be able to see the results and contest the results. If you're an American citizen.
When I was talking... Was I talking to you when I said this, or it might have been somebody else? I think something that would be interesting is if social media companies released a report at the end of the year showing what's, like, at least broadly speaking, what steps they'd taken in corroboration with the intelligence community. That would be interesting, I think. That would be like one change. So you can see, like, Twitter might say, like, we banned 75,000 accounts today at the behest of the FBI that we believe were operated by Russia banks. That would be like, even if they're not
based
specific,
off of IP addresses located in Russia or VPNs or blah 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 blah.
Yeah, that would be like an interesting thing that they could do. Sure, to help some. Okay. I wouldn't disagree with that. Here's another thing I would say real quick too that makes me think. Okay, friend comes up to you. There was a party last night. 20 people inside. A guy gets stabbed to death. Okay. And everybody there is saying, hey, the guy that got stabbed to death, John, he got stabbed by David. Okay, David stabbed John to death. All right, just letting you know. And you're saying, okay, wow, that's crazy. Yeah, go ahead and like give me the evidence or whatever. And then people come up and they all tell you their stories, and that's it. And you're sitting there and you're like, okay, David got stabbed by, or John got stabbed by David, and there were 20 people at a party. How did none of you get this on your cell phones? Why don't I have a single video of this? And everybody's like, oh, I don't know. Sometimes when I think of, sometimes when I'm looking at somebody telling me something, it's not so much the evidence they show me, it's the evidence that I don't see that really makes me wonder. If we believe that Baker was crucial to suppressing this story, why don't we have emails of them, more emails of them talking about the suppression of this story? I know those emails exist, of them having a lot of internal dialogue on it. It looks like they do. If Baker was involved, I know for sure we'd see those emails, but it seems like I don't have any of those emails. Why? That makes me think that the conversations were way more innocuous than the Twitter journalists led on. But go ahead.
So if you want to assign a super high level of charitability to these people, that's totally fine. If you don't want to think they're Jason Bourne, that's totally fine. But at the same time, we're talking about people who have been working like counter intel for like 10 or 20 fucking years.
Well, hold on. Wasn't he just like a lawyer? Baker?
Yeah, what did he work on?
I don't know. Was he doing like hardcore like counterintelligence and everything?
Russian counter intel. Yeah. Guess who? Guess who Elvis Chan was?
I don't
Russian
know what his extensive
intel
was, but
yeah. Guess who Elvis Chan worked for?
why am I looking at this? I don't know. Hold on. Let me just see his background.
I kind of want you to find it, but let me know if you get bored, and I'll tell you.
If okay, so if he was trying to push the censorship going in some direction, why don't we have any other emails showing that? I feel like there would be like a couple of him talking like, hey guys, maybe you should check this out. Like, it feels like that would be at least like one other email of that coming up, no?
I'm a big fan of the professional credentials of Jim Baker and Elvis Chan.
So you think that they like only did this like in hallways, or
they worked counterintelligence for like 10 or 20 years? And guess who Elvis Chan's boss is, or was? Peter Strzok.
Okay.
Guess who Elvis Chan worked Russian counterintelligence with and for, besides Peter Strzok? Jim Baker. Like, like we're literally talking about the guy who basically says that I am not letting Trump into office, blah, blah, fucking blah. That is Elvis Chan's former boss, and that's Jim Baker's former
Yeah, but this was a
coworker.
guy that was dumb enough to get fired from a special counsel investigation because of text messages.
So where's the text messages, Destiny? Where's the emails?
Well, for Peter Strzok, the text messages were in front of Congress. That's why he got kicked off the Mueller investigation, right?
What do you think other counterintelligence people learned from that lesson? Don't leave a digital footprint?
Like, what you're telling me is like a very cool story, but like we have no evidence, right? This is completely conjecture. So just to be clear,
Sure.
The story that you're going with is that Jim Baker is using his sophisticated counterintelligence tactics that he's picked up to subtly
These aren't sophisticated. These are just don't write shit down if you don't want people to read it. It's not sophisticated.
So you think that all of this conversation from a company like Twitter to censor a major story like this is just happening with no notes or anything? Nobody's writing minutes from meetings. None of them's having an email.
And the notes are completely innocuous. Don't you agree?
What do you mean?
Well, when Jim Baker is when Yoel Roth is being told like, hey, we had like a January hack of Burisma and we think it's going to be the Hunter Biden story, that's a relatively like logical thing that you could inference even if you didn't know about the Hunter Biden laptop. Hey, we're going to do a training thing at the Aspen Institute. They also think that it's going to be Hunter Biden because Burisma got hacked in January. That's a perfectly logical inference. Why not make it that?
Why wouldn't Jim Baker then
there's
just?
a story.
Oh God, yeah. Why wouldn't Jim Baker just not
I'm
send
just
this
saying.
last email at all then? So then he's never implicated.
Because it didn't seem like everybody else was going for hacked materials.
Wait,
It
but
seemed like Yoel Roth and the other guy were fucking waffling on it.
Really?
Yeah.
No, it seems like they had already made the decision before Baker came in.
Do you have evidence of that?
Yeah. Whatever we do in comms, meaning communications to the public, this will become a bias claim for Jack pre-hearing immediately. So it sounds like they've already made the decision. Let's make it clear that we're proactively but cautiously interpreting this through the lens of our hacked materials policy and allowing the link with a warning and significant reduction of spread.
Okay, well, I'm going to be an autistic dick right here.
Okay.
Where in that email does it say that that guy was the guy who made the decision about them doing it?
Oh, I don't know if he's the one that made the decision. I'm just saying it seems like the decision is made before Jim Baker's email comes in here.
Do you know who the decision was likely made by?
I don't know who.
Yoel Roth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who does he?
Yoel Roth. The guy who did the Aspen Institute training, the guy who had been told all year about Apartment 28, the guy who had been told about disinformation, the guy who was told by Jim Baker, hey, it's probably going to be about Hunter Biden, the guy who had like weekly meetings with the FBI. Yeah. He made a good faith representation, a good faith attempt in order to interpret information that the FBI had given him. And you can say this is good faith from the FBI, but I don't read it as good faith from the FBI. Particularly when they have the laptop in custody for the better part of a year, And particularly when there's a whistleblower saying that the reason why they're not touching it is because they don't want to have the perception of bias. So they sat on their dicks on something that was relevant to the political election, the general election of 2020, and they sat on their fucking hands about it because they didn't want to fuck up the election again.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. We're all at conjecture at this point, right?
Sure. If you want to say it's circumstantial evidence, I'm perfectly fine with that.
Well, it's not. Circumstantial evidence is real evidence. This is just conjecture right now, right?
If you want to say, yeah, sure. If you want to say that my inferential leaps that are made that are not corroborated by evidence are just my inferences and my conjecture, but we're looking at the same evidence in order to arrive at different conclusions, sure.
Well, but you're not using evidence. It's just conjecture, right?
You and I just read the same things for the past 20 minutes.
Well, yeah, but you're drawing from the fact that
between these people.
Yeah, but you're drawing from the fact that like he has some kind of counterintelligence training, and maybe he was working with the FBI to try to persuade people like Yoel Roth to aggressively come down on this as hack materials, to not but we have no evidence for any of that, right?
We don't have any evidence of intent, but we have evidence that that's exactly what happened.
No, we have that. Hold on, wait. If you have evidence of that, that might change my mind. Do you have evidence that Baker was the one that highly influenced Yoel Roth here and told him that
no.
This is? Oh, well then.
No, what we have is them wargaming this with the Aspen Institute, and we have all the briefing shit. Like, we can go back to it. There's one in there where Yoel Roth is talking about how they had basically been talking about it all fucking year.
Talking about what all year?
The fact that they were like doing training and it was probably going to be Hunter.
Wait, Yoel Roth has said multiple times that Hunter Biden was never directly mentioned by...
Yeah, I think that's in conflict with his deposition.
Can you... Well, I'm patient. I'm going to go over Red Bull. Can you find in the deposition where he says that Hunter Biden was explicitly brought up? I'm curious, yeah.
Yep.
Ooh.
It's number 12. I'll send it to you.
Scrolling up. If it's just 12, I can scroll to it. I'm really good at scrolling. I got a new mouse.
Sexy.
And yet, during all of 2020, the FBI and other law enforcement agencies repeatedly primed Yoel Roth to dismiss reports of Hunter Biden's laptop as a Russian hack and leak operation. This is from a sworn declaration by Roth given in December of 2020. Since 2018, I've had regular meetings with the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, the Department of Homeland Security, the FBI, and industry peers regarding election security. During these weekly meetings, the federal law enforcement agencies communicated that they expected hack and leak operations by state actors might occur in the period shortly before the 2020 presidential election, likely in October. I was told in these meetings that the intelligence community expected that individuals associated with political campaigns would be subject to hacking attacks, and that material obtained through those hacking attacks would likely be disseminated over social media platforms, including Twitter. These expectations of hack and leak operations were discussed through 2020. I also learned in these meetings that there were rumors that a hack and leak operation would involve Hunter Biden. All right, let me find his speech in front of Congress. 1 second. Also, real quick, when is this deposition? This was in December of 2020. All right, let me check.
Yep. Mm.
Okay. 1 second.
Rumors that a hack and leak operation would involve Hunter Biden, close quote. Is that your recollection today?
It is, but I want to clarify that sentence slightly. I think it
Sure.
actually should have been two separate sentences. It is true that in meetings between industry and law enforcement discussed the possibility of a hack and leak campaign in the lead up to the election. And in one of those meetings, it was discussed, I believe by another company, that there was a possibility that that hack and leak could relate to Hunter Biden and Burisma. I don't believe that perspective was shared by law enforcement. They didn't endorse it. They didn't provide that information in that meeting.
Okay. Here is one, I guess, but you're probably going to say I imagine you're going to say he's lying here, but so here's one statement on that. You can listen to that. I'm listening to two others. Hold on 1 second.
To fast forward here, and in fact, in March 2021, 4 months after the election, the U.S. intelligence community assessed that Russian President Putin authorized a range of government organizations conducted influence operations aimed at denigrating President Biden's candidacy and the Democratic Party, supporting former President Trump, and undermining public confidence in the electoral process, and exacerbating socio-political divisions in the U.S. that obviously reared their head on January 6th. Mr. Chairman, my time has expired, and I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Chair recognizes Mr. Jordan for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Roth, did the government tell...
Okay.
Thank the gentleman. Mr. Roth, I want to go back to your statement in your declaration to the FEC. I learned that a hack and leak operation would involve Hunter Biden. Who did you learn that from?
My recollection is it was mentioned by another technology company in one of our joint meetings, but I don't recall specifically whom.
You don't know the person's name?
I don't even recall what company they worked at. No, this was a long time ago.
And you're confident that it was from a tech company, not from someone from the government?
To the best of my recollection, yes.
Did anyone from the government in these periodic meetings you have, did they ever tell you that a hack and leak operation involving Hunter Biden was coming?
No,
Did Hunter Biden's name come up at all in these meetings?
yes, his name was raised in those meetings, but not by the government, to the best of my recollection.
Okay. Mr. Baker, I'm going to go back to the question we had a few hours ago.
I sent you a second thing, and then hold on.
I'm watching it.
Okay. Check out this third thing.
And then you did this table talk exercise about Hunter Biden and about a leak about Hunter Biden that would come out right before the election, essentially 10 days, and that happened in September, right before the election. And you participated in that, right?
Yes, I did.
Who facilitated that exercise? I know the Aspen Institute, but who facilitated the exercise proper? Was anybody from a government agency facilitating any part of that? Were they involved in the discussions during the exercise?
No, I don't believe so, no.
So they were just spectators.
I wasn't aware that they were spectators either, but I don't recall exactly who was there.
I know you don't recall who was there. Then who facilitated? Do you recall that?
My recollection is that the event was facilitated by Garrett Graff, who was a member of the Aspen Institute and Aspen Digital.
All right. Do you find it odd now, after the fact, and I know you've already testified here, that you don't see, to Mr. Sessions, that you didn't see that you were misled or potentially duped? It sure seems highly coincidental. Would you agree? It at least seems highly coincidental. Knowing that the FBI had the laptop, that the FBI set up the war room and the channel and told you, per your statement, that this was going to happen, do you find it highly coincidental that it actually happened and it was Hunter Biden at all?
I want to be clear that my statement to the FEC does not suggest that the FBI told me it would involve Hunter Biden. That's a popular reading of that declaration, but it was not my intent. I think there is a coincidence there, and I really can't.
I just watched Jim Baker a little bit extra after Joel Roth.
Sure, I linked you the third one too. You can go for I think like half a minute, and then he clarifies again on that statement. But
really coincidental. One last question. Did the CIA or the other governmental agency ever ask Twitter to look at something that violated Twitter's policy?
I don't recall specific outreach by the CIA specifically.
Other government agency is what it was called in the Twitter files.
Yes, Twitter regularly received reports from government requesting review under our
So
rules.
the other government agency, that one, did they ever request information regarding violations of Twitter's policies? The CIA.
Gentlemen, time's expired, but please answer the question.
Thank you, Chairman.
Again, I don't recall specific contact from the CIA, no.
Chair recognizes Mr. Burke.
okay, let me know when you listen to all three of those to your satisfaction.
Yeah, I've listened to all three of those.
Okay. So I mean, I guess my guess here is you're going to say he's probably lying at this point, to save face.
No. I think Joel Roth is the one person who's probably been acting in good faith like a healthy chunk of the time. My contention would be that the revolving door between the FBI and private industry would make these relationships basically so fucking blurry that it wouldn't, like, if you go to the Aspen Institute, and I'm sure if you look up the people who like facilitated the exercise or whatever, I'm sure you're gonna find a bunch of fucking like ex-government employees and blah 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 blah.
Probably,
like
yeah.
people who work 10, 20 years like in the industry, work security, work this, work that, like almost guaranteed. So part of the problem is the alleged conflict of interest. That's part of the problem.
Okay, gotcha. I guess I'm just curious here then. So like, was the FBI literally saying the Hunter Biden story is coming? You need to suppress it. That's kind of what I'm looking for, or I would be worried if that was like an explicit.
Sure,
statement.
and what I'm saying is the people who you're looking to say that are smart enough not to say that.
Okay.
I mean, you don't have to believe me. You can just think they're all fucking Costco employees, but I don't think so.
Gotcha. Okay, what part do you want to move on to next, or what's like the next thing you want to?
So, I appreciate you following me down that autistic rabbit hole. Should the FBI be exhausting social media companies with extra legal requests?
As long as they're compensating for it, yeah, sure.
Okay, so you have no problems over the next like decade or two if the FBI, the CIA, whatever, they just say, hey, they just submit like a weekly email saying, hey, FBI, hey, Twitter, hey, whatever. I know that you don't want to give us this information, but can you give us this information without a warrant? You got no problem with them sending that weekly email?
Yeah, you did it as a cop all the time, right? Walk up to a guy on the street, hey, what are you doing, man? What's your name or whatever? You can always ask, right? And then they can say, fuck you, I don't want to say shit, but you can ask, right?
Well, okay, so that was actually going to be one of my examples is if you're a cop and you walk up to somebody and you say, hey, wouldn't it be great if you let me search your pockets? Because, I mean, if I find anything and, it's not supposed to be there, then, it's going to be worse off than if you tell me that you have something. Which, by the way, like, that potentially, depending on how you phrase it, that could be legal. But isn't that fucked up? Like, isn't that a fucked up way to conduct yourself?
I'm gonna be I'm ready to get
what?
I'm
Pro
gonna
cop?
Yeah, I'm gonna get clipped for TikTok. My aunt told me something that I've said on the stream a lot, and you know what? I believe it. I think my aunt said something like, she's got like 95% of you figured out by the time she's walked up to you and asked you a question. It's up to you not to fuck up the last 5%. I think that cops utilize a lot of discretion when they talk to people. I don't think there's a problem with that. I'm actually totally okay with a cop approaching a random dude, asking some questions. He sees somebody, looks kind of suspicious, doesn't think he needs to be in the neighborhood. I think cops are totally fine with the right to do that. Now, I think as an American citizen, you're totally within your right to say, fuck off, I don't want to talk to you. Am I being detained? Nope, see you later. I think you can do that, but I don't have any problems with cops walking up and talking to people. I think cops should be. I think cops should be proactive. There's my horrible anti-BLM whatever fucking take, yeah.
So in the social media analogy, you are fine with FBI, DHS, CIA going, hey, buddy, hey, social media company, can I search your pockets like every week?
Yeah, so FBI emails Twitter and they say, I think that Destiny dude, he might be a fucking terrorist. Can I go ahead and like take a peek at his DMs? And from that point, Twitter can say like, yeah, dude, take a look at everything you want. Or Twitter can say, they can be like Apple and say like, you know what? Fuck you, figure it out yourself. Yeah, or come back with a subpoena. I think that's fine. I'm not. Right. I can see the potential for
can it put a bad taste in some people's mouths that basically social media or we're reliant on the discretion of social media companies to decide how much of an interaction they have with the security industry?
Yeah, I can understand people being upset, but I think that's part of law enforcement in general is wide discretion, having. Doing things that aren't like, it's not illegal, but like they're not required to follow along, but it's just what they do. I think.
So you're ACAB, but all cops are based. Got it. All right, cool. All right. So that actually, you kind of just answered a significant portion of the question because you already bit the bullet on it. So basically, my hesitation, my frustration, my disgust would be if the government is spending its time and money and taxes on tracking down fucking Groiper Chan 1488 with fucking 2 followers and 19 follows who tweets out that COVID mixed with 5G is going to make you sterile and turn your kids trans or some shit like that. And they say, hey, this goes against your hateful conduct policy. 1, I think that's a waste of state resource. 2, if it's not illegal, I view it as like a spiritual violation of the First Amendment, if not a like actual prosecutable legal fucking Congress shall make no laws.
Yeah, be clear, it's not actionable or anything like that. It's not illegal, right?
Well, what's that?
It's not illegal or anything like that, right? We have no reason to believe that.
Yeah, you just have the government fucking playing tattletale on American citizens, the social media companies that they have influence over on what speech Americans are allowed to do on social media companies, which I would view as a conflict of interest.
Sure, and I think if there was ever any evidence that like they're starting to make weird requests like, hey, like Rush Limbaugh, oh, that guy's dead. Like, hey, like Tucker Carlson's speech here about immigration is like a threat to national security. Can you please like take that down? I think that'd be a really interesting conversation that would need to be had. Like, is this really like the business of our law enforcement to be making these types of calls? Like you said, like, should they be choosing what gets published or not? That's fine. It would just be interesting to see if there's any evidence of those types of claims being made.
So they've crossed my line, but they haven't crossed your line yet.
I haven't seen any evidence of it now. And I think if they had done it, I think we would have seen that released in some.
Well, and I'm talking about like on a moral principle basis, not like a legal basis. So right now, I'm trying to say Groyperchan 1488 should be able to post racist shit on the fucking internet, and it shouldn't be the job of the government to fucking snitch on them. You're saying that's not that big of a deal, but if you start to see evidence of the government acting in collusion with social media companies to suppress large media figures or private citizens, then you'll start to freak out about it more.
Well, has that been happening?
Yeah. So basically, the CSV files. I don't know if I was watching it. I think I was watching it on your reporter conversation or whatever. But the CSV files where they like submitted like 240,000 fucking names and profiles of people who had violated Twitter TOS. Like one of the comments back from the social media companies was, "This guy has fucking 19. He has 2 followers and fucking 19 tweets. What the fuck?"
Wait. Can you show me those files? Can you find that too? Because my understanding was those were files that they didn't mark those for violating TOS. I thought they marked those because they thought that those were accounts that had been made by foreign actors as bots.
Yeah, so I'd have to find that, and I don't think that's in Schellenberger 7.
Oh, sure. That would be good, because if what you're telling me is true, that like the FBI made a list of every time somebody used like a racial slur and they sent that in, that is kind of inappropriate. I don't know why the FBI would be doing that. That would be silly to me. Mm-hmm. But my understanding is that 200,000 list, that was like, these are accounts that we have reason to believe, which I think Twitter, by the way, disagreed with. I think we don't think these are bots, but they're like, we think these are like foreign made accounts that are bot accounts. That's what I thought that 200,000 list was for.
Okay, but, so I'll go back to my bookmarks. The one, the Twitter files one, where they were talking about how private entities are acting as like a different arm of the FBI or whatever, is because some of this work is subcontracted out to like private institutions, and then the private institutions are like, you know, they get government grants and contracts and all that kind of shit, but they're doing this fucking snitch work. So it's not the government itself, it's not the FBI, but it's like something that's publicly funded, that's like a contractor agency that's doing the fucking reports.
What reports? Of the 200,000 thing?
Yeah, so let me find which one where it says, like, private entities are acting as a link to the FBI.
Well, Twitter, yeah, but we should find... Okay, let's look for this. 200,000 accounts, Twitter, FBI. Let's find these. Can somebody find that that tweet?
Twitter, the FBI subsidiary. It's Matt Taibbi, I think it's Twitter files 4 or 5. And I'll link it.
Fuck. If somebody can find that tweet in the Twitter files. I want the one where they talked about the 200,000 or 300. Was it 300,000? Hold on.
Yeah, so one of the people, or somebody in my DMs, just to be forthright, basically said that there is like an obvious time where Roth is lying to cover his own ass, and it's basically when they ask him like who he authorized in order to have the fucking top secret briefings, and there's like no reason why that guy wouldn't know who he authorized to have the fucking top secret briefings, because there was only like 2 of them. So
I'd have to look into that to see if
Roth,
that's true. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so hold on. So he's lying, obviously, under oath there, then, because I believe they're sworn under oath when they're answering questions before Congress, right?
To my recollection, Senator, I don't remember who I authorized for top secret clearance at Twitter. Like, I'm not even saying that's the direct quote, but that's exactly how you can fucking say, I don't know, while still having plausible deniability. Whereas, like, of course you fucking know.
Okay. I feel like That's a pretty big claim to say.
You
that he's,
feel like if you authorize 2 people at fucking Twitter in order to have TSSCI fucking clearance with government agencies that you're interfacing with on a fucking weekly basis, you wouldn't know who those 2 people were?
I just don't know if what you just said there is true. If he's being asked a question about
You're
one
right.
of 2 people and only those 2 people were the only ones he could have answered, I'm not sure if that's the case.
And you're right. I don't even know if it's true either. I fucking got that from a DM. So.
Okay, hold on. The Twitter Files Part 6. What, nobody here has a link? Where are all the linkers in chat? You fucking losers link shit all the time. Nobody has a link to where they talk about the 200,000 files or the 200,000 accounts that they want taken down. None of you fuckers have it? Seriously? Rep. Okay. Well.
Where is it?
Zoomer Slololilo tried to swim in never give up.
In mid-2000.
Wait, are you looking for something right now, or?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Okay.
I was reading the FBI a subsidiary or Twitter a subsidiary of the FBI thing. Okay. So basically, I'm not finding the public contractors or whatever. They're just saying that they believe that they farm it out to public contractors and all that kind of stuff. And like on top of that, like, do you know for a fact that the FBI is going through the fucking measure in order to look up the IP accounts of these like violative accounts so they know that they're foreign interference?
Here you go. Okay. So this says, hi, I can at least share from the press side that CNN heard that they have nearly 250,000 accounts. A State Department spokesperson told CNN that the GEC provided Twitter with a small sample of the overall data set that included nearly 250,000 accounts, adding that it was not surprising that there are authentic accounts in any sample. Here's a roundup of coverage with some notable tweets thus far. I also expected a separate and or updated Bloomberg story and possibly a piece from the AP, who I spoke with earlier. Overall, pretty straightforward coverage. So, and then I'm going to the next one, and it says, hi, Nick, this is the transmittal information from State. We are providing these 5,500 accounts that display inorganic behavior and follow 2 or more of the 36 Chinese diplomatic Twitter accounts that we have identified in the report. Due to the fact that these accounts follow 2 or more of these diplomatic accounts, and a good portion of them are newly created, we believe they are suspicious. This is shared for your situational awareness, and no action is requested. Yeah, so it seems like my understanding is that all these accounts are being flagged, where for, well, go ahead.
Okay, but come on, man. Can you just like concede the fucking like no action is requested at this time? Like, come on, man.
Well, hold on,
like,
but we weren't even arguing over
EYA fucking language right there.
Well, first of all, no, because even when direct action was requested, they shut them down sometimes. But more specifically, it was about, were they just flagging random accounts that were violating TOS, or were they flagging accounts that they thought were foreign-owned bots? I thought it was the latter. And
so
you were saying that's foreign. Because earlier you were saying First Amendment stuff. What if the FBI was just saying, go ban these Groyper accounts? That was the example that you used. But it seems like that's not what they were concerned with. It was foreign-operated bot accounts. That's what I...
Well,
yeah.
So the list that I just sent you or whatever is the FBI doing specific requests itself, and the 2 subjects that they noted were basically like civic misinformation and COVID misinformation.
Can you link me that again, and I can look at it?
Of course. Let me go back to my bookmarks. I think I linked it already, actually, but I'll send it again. But it should be Matt Taibbi, fucking FBI, whatever.
I see thread
Or
1.
Twitter, a subsidiary of the FBI. That should be the title at the top.
Twitter, the FBI subsidiary. That one? That's just a link to the first tweet. Which one is it? Or what do you want me to go to?
Let me scroll. So
like-
16 is where they're actually supporting it. And
Sure, real quick before
then-
we give the evidence, just so I seem unbiased or whatever. So this would be a case where, like, if you can show me like a couple accounts that are pointed out where it's like these guys are just like normal people and the FBI is like targeting them because they're trying to get rid of conservatives or whatever. That would be like really powerful. Like, here's a list of like conservative accounts. Like, oof. That's what
No,
it'd be.
it's majority. It's majority fucking. That's actually the point from Twitter as a counterpoint on why they're not working on like half of this shit is because half of these are fucking shitpost accounts.
Okay.
So, but at the same time,
wait,
like, is it the
wait. Hold
government's
on.
fucking
That
job?
wasn't Twitter's
Yep.
response. I thought Twitter's response was that these accounts probably aren't bots.
So,
And also, wait, I'm scrolling down to, you said Twitter tweet 16?
yeah, so 14, 15, 16, they're basically saying that half of them are fucking satire.
Twitter personnel in that case wanted to look for reasons to suspend all 4 accounts, including @fromma, whose tweets are almost all jokes. See sample below, including his civic misinformation on November 8th. Okay, let me check. Clowns love to meet jokers to the right. Thanks, Patrick. I've escalated to GET. Okay, I've reviewed this already from the TDS fragments into 3 that accounts for multi-account abuse and ban evasion violations. Rodrigo, could you please review FMA for possible civic misinformation or direct to the appropriate part of GET for the reviews? Thanks, Patrick. I want to remind Republicans to vote tomorrow, Wednesday, November 9th.
You get it?
Rose
Because
container.
it's the day after the election, so they'll miss the election.
Gotcha. Now that's interesting because this is an account that's probably a left-leaning account then, huh?
Sure.
So this is the FBI trying to shut down misinformation coming from the left that would hurt Republicans, just as a note, but...
Yeah. Well, what part of my manifesto was the fact that I'm pretty sure fucking leftists get clapped up all the fucking time.
Sure, I know, just something to come. But okay, so boom, boom, boom. Tweets almost all jokes. Just to show the FBI can be hyper-intrusive in both directions, they also asked Twitter to review a blue-leaning account for a different joke, except here it was even more obvious that Claire Foster, PhD, who kids a lot, was kidding. Hello, Twitter contacts. FBI San Francisco is notifying you of the below account activities which may potentially constitute violations of Twitter terms of service for any action or inaction deemed appropriate within Twitter policy. Thank you, Catherine. Twitter post by user @ByramWade, display name UltraMAGA, stating the following. Americans vote today. Democrats, you vote Wednesday 9th. The tweet was posted on the 8th of November 2022. Twitter account @Claire Foster, PhD, claimed in her post that she is a ballot counter in her state, and an additional post states, for every negative comment on this post, I'm adding another vote for the Democrats, and if you're not wearing a mask, I'm counting your vote. I'm a ballot counter, okay, and then, yeah, I gotcha, I see this, all right. Claire Foster, PhD, anyone who just, oh, this is just the person, nobody at Twitter. Okay, so this was the FBI. I'm trying to see like what we feel like has like gone wrong here.
Well, my perspective on this would be the fact that like they're American citizens. They're making legally protected speech.
Yep.
They are
Well,
on social media.
Go ahead.
I'm pretty sure jokes and shitposts and satire, even if you want to be racist or anti-Semitic, that's all fucking covered by 1A. And then you have the government.
I'm not actually sure about election-related stuff. Isn't there like weird rules around polls? I'm just asking generally.
No idea.
Okay, I think you're probably right, but go ahead. But they're making First Amendment protected speech, not necessarily on Twitter, but go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, so through de facto reporting to the to these private institutions that have stronger like TOS violations or whatever, they're terminating the speech of their own citizens that they don't like. Now, you could say this is for good shit because it's for COVID or if it's for elections or whatever the fuck, but that's always how authoritarian shit is justified, is always through the greater good.
Sure, but like, it doesn't sound to me, I'm going to be honest, in reading these, it doesn't sound like they're trying to terminate speech they don't like. It sounds like they either have a bad algorithm identifying election misinformation, or it's fucking boomers that don't know humor that are identifying misinformation. It seems like
sure, but at the same time, if you have the system in place where people can be reported for COVID misinformation or whatever the fuck, and the government is pressuring social media companies, shit, did I knock out my camera?
Or you got really good at being a ventriloquist immediately.
Yeah. Let me fix that. But anyways, I'll keep talking while we're doing it. So if you have the White House fucking saying, hey, so many people are dying because of COVID misinfo, blah, blah, blah. You need to be breaking down on COVID disinformation. If you have Pfizer DMing the fucking higher-ups at Twitter, and then if you have a no COVID misinfo fucking policy, but then you have legitimate doctors and shit talking about like the impact of, you know, taking your kids out of the school system for 2 years, which was one of the Twitter files examples of like suppression of legitimate information. Or if you have people sharing articles about like, you know, natural immunity compared to fucking vaccine efficacy. And that's like all legitimately verified information and part of the conversation about whether or not to get vaxxed versus like infection rates for COVID versus the vaccine and blah, 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 then it's still de facto fucking censorship.
I mean, it would be de facto censorship if they were actually censoring the accounts, but it sounds like all they do is they make recommendations to Twitter and then Twitter gets to decide whether or not they want to act on it.
Sure. And if you're fine with this level of like interaction and incestuousness, then we just disagree. Like, it's fine, but we disagree. I don't think the fucking person determining how stories come out on fucking Twitter, I don't think one of them should be the former general counsel of the FBI who fucking investigated the one of the candidates' rivals. Like, I don't think that should be one of them.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I haven't seen anything necessarily improper. I don't think some level of communication between the intelligence communities and these private social media companies is wrong. But I guess if any evidence ever comes out that shows that they're acting in a way that's improper, I would be super interested in seeing that. Just haven't seen it yet.
Okay. Then I think we're only down to like 1 or 2 bullet points. I'm still fucking with my camera, so let me just bring up another bullet point while I fuck with my shit. System designed to be justified. Are they good? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. So I think that's actually all of my shit. And I kind of want to point this out, or just like summarizing it or whatever.
No.
I don't think, or I do think that some people were playing fuck games with shadow banning versus like visible filtering. I think that some progressives were playing semantic fucking games with that shit. I think that this still is an issue of public discourse. If you want to say that there's not enough meat on the bone for you personally to be interested in the Twitter files, that's fine. But
when I think of the shadow banning thing, like I think, did I ever use the comparison with you between the throttling thing?
No, but go ahead.
Basically, every cell phone company today, I believe they explicitly say that they don't throttle. That's like a promise that they make to all their customers. But we all know they throttle, but they don't technically throttle. What they do is they deprioritize your bandwidth on busy cell phone towers past a certain data limit, which is throttling. I'm sure that like every social media company, I think every social media company explicitly says they don't shadow ban, but they will like deprioritize your tweets or hide them unless explicitly searched for or some shit like that. Like they do something like that. Like even Elon Musk has re-implemented shadow banning, right?
Yeah. Oh, well, and that's actually part of the thing. So,
but he doesn't call it shadow banning. He calls it like that they deboost tweets or something. Like is what he says now. But it's like,
fuck it. You got to deal with my Discord logo for now.
Okay.
So yeah. So no, that's part of the thing. Is this is part of the complaint is that it's all up to the fickle choices of the people who run social media companies. So as a result, one of the things that's been frustrating is him visibly filtering and shadow banning, quote unquote. I have no idea what the fuck you're doing.
I'm trying to high-five myself.
Like
Sorry,
Ukrainian pro-war accounts. So this is going to have an effect on propaganda. This is going to have effect on fundraising. This is going to have effect on people on money on the people on the ground. So that's kind of like the point is that who controls social media companies, what they allow in their speech, who they suppress, and all that kind of stuff is super fucking important. So even if you don't think there's enough meat on the bone in the Twitter files themselves, the general conversation is at least fucking huge.
Yeah. Okay. True.
All right. Okay. Then I just want to point out that I basically had my dick kicked in for the better part of 2 weeks over, similar fucking arguments or whatever. But, I'm happy to get jumped into, the fucking, like, the true streamer fucking world where, you just get your dick kicked in for fucking 2 weeks.
Base. Good time. All right. Well,
Yeah.
hey, I love you. Be careful, buddy. All right.
Well, hey, can I give you one more thing before we dip?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So I would just rather, I might make content out of it eventually.
Hang on, can I jump in here?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Oh,
I just want to make it clear that the dick kicking in, I think, was over the central claim that the FBI was doing this with the intent of getting Donald Trump defeated in the election because they didn't like their boss. That I think is what we took issue with.
Have you watched my Delegations video?
No, I haven't. No.
Okay. I would appreciate it if you did it, because while still circumstantial, I think I corroborate my perspective on that.
Okay, but it seems like the conversation we're having now is that we should be alarmed that the FBI is taking steps to chill the speech of potentially American people over things that are not specifically illegal, and that we should be concerned about that, which I think is, pretty reasonable. But just to be clear, it seems like the dog pile was moreover that you think the FBI was doing this with the specific intention of helping Biden win the election because they did not personally like Donald Trump, or he made their jobs difficult or something. Just so
yeah,
that's
and
understood.
actually, sure, and basically, I still think I have logical building blocks for that perspective. What I would say since then is I've had people present to me like a logical interpretation. So, for instance, that story about the FBI saying that the reason why they didn't want to interfere, or the reason why they didn't pursue the Hunter Biden story as aggressively as they normally would, is because they didn't want to have the perception of bias that might fuck over a Democrat again, which they were absolutely fucking steamrolled on in 2016 when they announced that they were reopening the investigation for Hillary Clinton's server. So that's a non-biased motivation that I would accept as entirely possible or plausible, where they don't, dislike Trump or hate Biden. They just don't want to they don't want to get dick kicked. I think that's perfectly rational. Also, the Aspen Institute and other social media companies picking Hunter Biden as the war game. At first, that seems incredibly nefarious, that you're literally war gaming the exact fucking story that comes out 2 months beforehand. But with the Burisma hack in January, that actually becomes infinitely more fucking plausible that you would just infer that logically.
Infer which thing logically?
Infer that the story was going to be about Hunter Biden.
Oh yeah, sure, okay.
So even if you were like completely unaware of the laptop's existence, which seems nefarious,
I would say fishy.
You could still get to Hunter Biden.
This is interesting. Somebody just linked me this. Okay, this is why I sometimes it sounds like I'm just being contrarian, but I hear things sometimes. I think it actually is a federal crime to give false information about election stuff. Like if I say, "Hey, conservatives, remember to vote on the 11th. That's when we vote." I think that actually is a federal crime. Now, I don't know how that works with like satire or whatever. But this says, bad actors use various methods to spread disinformation about voting, such as social media platforms, texting, or peer-to-peer messaging applications or smartphones. They may provide misleading information about the time, manner, or place of voting. This can include inaccurate election dates or false claims about voting qualifications or methods, such as false information suggesting that one may vote by text, which is not allowed in any jurisdiction.
Isn't that what Jacob Wall fucking ended up getting charges for? And who's the other guy? Jack, what's his name?
I don't remember, but it sounds like, so like if the FBI is flagging this for Twitter, they weren't just flagging it because they didn't like the jokes or it was politically unpopular. It's because technically it is a federal crime, I think.
Okay,
the robocalls in Michigan with the fake election info or whatever. Mm-hmm. Not Jack Posobiec.
Okay, but then my constitutionalist brain would say, hey, don't fucking ban these people's accounts or whatever, which I would say is a de facto violation of their First Amendment rights. I would say fucking charge them.
Well, what? If the speech is illegal, you can remove the speech. That's not a violation of First Amendment rights. Like, for instance, somebody posts child porn. You can both charge them for posting child porn and remove the offending child porn. Right? I think.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Actually, I'll take that into consideration.
Sure. What else? Where else were we?
Yeah. So I just want to say,
fucking loser.
This is
I hate
more...
that fucking guy. Sorry, go ahead.
No, this is more on the drama side of things or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, what I would say is, I think I want to explain something for why people might be boys with you one day and then just fucking stab you in the back the next. I think that there's like this thing that happens in your orbit where like you have a conversation, you have a few good conversations, you have a few good debates, blah, 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 blah. You feel like you're relatively fraternal, you're friendly, you're on the same level, et cetera, et cetera. Then there's a super fucking heated debate, a super heated fucking conversation. And it feels like you go from a peer where you're somebody who like of similar intellect or somebody who has something interesting to say or something like that. And you go from being a peer streamer to being the content that is milked. And so when you experience that, it's like, oh, fuck, like I thought we had like a pseudo-social relationship. So my expectations of our relationship are different. Therefore, you know, whatever like friendly feelings that I fucking had, apparently that was all one-sided. As a result of that, fuck this guy, I'm gonna go after him super hard. Now, I think I just like DM'd you in the fucking wake of the incident or whatever, and we just fucking talked it out or whatever. But at the same time, like, I think that's the instinct that a lot of people have when they're getting dogpiled, is they're like, oh, I thought we were friends. Well, we're not. Fuck this guy.
Yeah, I can understand that. I can empathize with that. I think I'm probably just so used to like the waves of like the ocean of the internet. Like I'm like a hero on TikTok to black women, but now I just did a thing with a girl. And we joke because she was like, I'm going to clip the fuck out of you. And I was like, go for it, do your worst. And now, like, I think everybody on her TikTok thinks I'm a rapist. It's just like the ebb and flow of the internet. I'm probably used to it. But when other people that are smaller content creators are engaging with me and I seem really friendly one day, and then the next day I become like a stand-in for like the community that is now like the linchpin of destroying your life, it probably feels kind of weird to people. I can empathize with that, sure.
Well, and then contextually, like, this is what I want to tell other creators, because this isn't just you. This is going to happen to every kind of creator that's fucking out there. They're going to be the belle of the ball, kicking ass, taking names, growing, getting subs, making money, this, that, the other, and then the next day they're going to be getting their dick kicked in for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that you have to fucking take into account is scale. So for instance, I think last night on Destiny still does really well. I think they get like 50,000 to like 150,000 views for a good chunk of the content that they post. And then obviously people are fucking dogging me in the comments. That's to be expected. I didn't check out the subreddit. I'm not a fucking idiot. But the amount of people who came my way in order to talk shit was probably like 20 or 30. And you have to think that like 100,000 people saw that conversation and did not like what I had to say. So the fact that it's like 30 out of 100,000 is actually microscopically small, even though it feels like it's the entire world.
Yeah, a little bit. I would just have to say you have to be careful because like, I don't know if you've noticed, but even for really big streams, like you can have 5,000 plus viewers, you only need 10 chatters to destroy the mood and experience for the streamer. It only really takes 10. Same thing in your Twitter comments. Like I would guesstimate that even at huge scales, getting 3 death or rape threats in a day is going to be like game over. Like that's going to be insane. Even with 100,000 or 1 million people hating you, like just getting 3 death threats is like, fuck me, like I can't handle this. So the amount of people that it takes to produce an incredibly negative reaction is very small. So that's like the frustrating thing that I kind of have to fight. And there's like 2 ends of that where I'll be like, bro, like I have like 500,000 people that watch this video. Like, I'm sorry if like 10 people contacted you, like that's not like representative of the audience, but then to the other person, well, 10 people contacting them in a single day, giving them death threats is probably 10 more than have ever contacted them ever, giving them death threats, you know? So yeah, it's rough on both ends of that, you know?
Yeah, and so I just wanted to give that as like a little shout out to the fucking people who are coming up in the streaming world and might get their shit kicked in or whatever. I would say that it felt like I avoided fucking getting my shit kicked in for a really long time, so it just felt like my turn at bat. So yeah, it's going to take a little bit more than that for me to backstab you. So you know, we'll give it another 6 months or so.
All right, we'll see. Okay, well, hey, I love you, buddy. Be careful. Wait, do you play any games?
Yeah, of course.
What do you play?
I play Darktide. It's a Warhammer 40k first-person cooperative shooter. But I mean, also if you do FPSs, I do FPSs. If you wanted to do an RTS, I would do an RTS. So. Do
you play Warzone?
No, but me being the fucking worst person on the team could be pretty fucking funny. Like, I'm pretty good at, like, first-person shooters. I'm nowhere near as good as my editor, but, I hate that fucking survival battle royale shit, because I don't have fucking 4 hours to fucking run around. But if you were saying, hey, come game, I'd fucking do it.
Okay. I might try that Darktide game, maybe. We'll see, but okay.
Try Darktide. It's a good introduction into the Warhammer 40k universe, which, by the way, check out Counterpoints. Counterpoints 30k is my Warhammer 40k channel. Counterpoints Coliseum is my fucking debate channel.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, have fun. Be careful, okay?
All right. Love you. Be safe.
Bye. Oh, having conversations where we're, like, able to just go through and read everything is, like, so fucking nice. Oh, my God. Oh, wait, I'm thinking Darktide. I wasn't thinking Darktide. I was thinking of, what's that one game that Moon plays all the time? Like Dark and Darker or something? That's what I was actually thinking of, fuck. Or is it Darktide, or... What am I thinking of? Is it Dark and Darker? Or is it Dark... What?
Yo, Moon viewer? Yeah, it's Dark and Darker.
Oh, okay. All right.
Why do you pretend you're going to play video games?
I've been playing StarCraft, okay? That's what the people want. Seem to get 3,000 views playing it. And they're all like, oh, dumbass fucking audience. But that's all good.
Dude, they're just happy it's not League.
True.
Anyways, as always, the offer remains open for the Battle Royale because I'm addicted.
Which battle royale?
This is how unfair.
I can play any of them
Oh.
because I'm a god gamer.
Okay, I'll think about it.
Oh wait, not Fortnite. Don't make me play Fortnite, dog.
All right, have fun. Bye.
All right, later.
Fairly, the legal. This is how unfairly the legal system is treating XQC. XQC's ex-adapter sued him for divorce even though they were never married. That is already weird, but hang on, because I have proof that this was all planned. Henry Rosilla Linting, a really famous couple lawyer, pointed out in a video that before suing XQC, Adapter deleted almost every tweet and post on her platforms. Why? Because she didn't want to have any data or proof that could be used against her in court. Now the real evil side of her gonna shine. After everything was deleted, then she sued X and made a request to the jury that X is not allowed to remove anything from his platforms because it can manipulate the ongoing case. That is like playing a game of poker and getting to see the cards before anyone else. So now the case is manipulated in the case she wanted, since she may be deleted evidence that goes against what she's stating to the jury. I contacted Anonymous to hack Adapter Twitter to get her old data back. Let's call them up. Hi, did you get any data back from her account?
Yes, Moo Kitty. I sent it to
Okay,
you.
thank you, bye. He couldn't get so many tweets back, but here's some proof that she actually did delete tweets. I really hope that you, judge, look into this, because XQC is innocent. If you need a lawyer, subscribe to me. Better call Moo Kitty.
Based. Okay. Well, it's been fun. I love you guys. I'm not gonna stay up like a fucking degenerate today. What do we have tomorrow? Did Chud Logic get roasted today? Was that happening? Guys, we're not reviewing the Darius Sushi drama stream, okay? They can handle that shit privately, okay? Nothing tomorrow, thank God. Alright. Ripperino, cappuccino, pappuccino, hoppuccino, moppuccino, dappuccino, cappuccino, appuccino, alpuccino, my deuterinos. I will catch you guys next Streamerino.